Opinions and stories around the game we love, told by your favorite storytellers. Stay up to date with all things cricket. Subscribe to Cricbuzz's YouTube channel and press that bell icon now.
If you're an India fan, there is never any dead rubber for you because you're invested in every game that the team plays. And at the end of the day, when there's only that many games to play before the World Cup and with all the chatter that's happening, there's so much confusion that has happened in the team losing these two games in terms of the fans and the well-wishers and everyone around. The team is saying they have no confusion. The captain has clearly said that we're totally chill. In fact, he invited people into the dressing room. And he said, why don't you come have a look? So, 30,000 of us are going to have a look inside.
I'm going 2 days later. I was going.
Yeah, you're not going to meet them. You're going there for the final, which India is not playing. Stop rubbing it in. All right? Stop it, Parthiv. But yeah, so they're cool. But I think that's the reason why, Ajay, we're still going to be tuned into the game tomorrow because we want to see a team that is self-assured, that still shows that faith. Just the thought is right. Doesn't matter. The Asia Cup's gone.
Yeah.
Not the end of the world. But we still want to make sure that our team's roadmap is correct because somewhere or the other, we of course have that the ultimate multi-nation tournament in mind, which is in a couple of months from now, or next month rather.
I think that's one thing that you got to look at. But at the end of the day, what you'll have to do is every ball, every over, every game that you still have to play well.
Yeah.
And I think that's a habit that you need to try and carry on with it. Just because you've lost a couple of games doesn't mean that you're not good enough or something's gone wrong or there has to be a change. I think you got to stick and, belief is something that is a very important thing in sport. And, if you as players or, as fans, all of us can, one day feel that, we are the best team in the world. And next day, if we lose a couple of games, we may give up hope and say, no, you're not good enough. But the team has to stick to their belief and, carry on playing it like it's just another game. You got to play every game as, if you were in the final, you weren't going to play Afghanistan, right? If you had won first two games, but you would have still had this game. What were you going to get out of that game is the same as what you should have got out of the last game or the one out of that. And you carry on doing that as a sportsman. The most important thing any sportsman has done, I don't think there may be 1% professional sportsmen around the world who win more than they lose. Every professional sportsman in the world, whichever sport that they play, from childhood when they finish, they have lost more games. So, losing is part of life and it's how you get up and then come back.
Fair.
So I think they should just carry on doing what they've been doing. We may agree, we may not agree, we may like it, we may not like it, but we like our team. We will support you. And I think they must play for their fans tomorrow.
Yeah, true.
I think if there is something, it's mostly a cliche because you got to play for yourself and then you do. But at the end of the day, I think tomorrow, what is it? It's not for them. They can't get to the finals. But all the fans who've been watching, if they get to see something special tomorrow.
I think that's the thing. They need clarity of thought. I think fans will be very comfortable if they see clarity of thought. But clarity of thought doesn't mean that you can't change players. It's just clarity that you're playing on the field. Because that's my question to you, Parthiv. Now, not that you know that it's a dead rubber. You do have a chance to try the players you haven't tried. I think you pretty much tried everybody. Try whatever, Akshar's not played or whatever. Try a new combination. What are you seeing the team do? How should they... Because you have to make the best of every situation. How do you make the best of an international game in a multi-nation tournament?
I'm not looking at it as a dead rubber for sure, because I don't think the Indian team, even if has found the right combination, which they are looking at. So the first game, you had all the bases covers. You had Ravindra Jadeja, an all-rounder, was part of the squad. You had Hardik Pandya as your sixth bowler. You had Dinesh Karthik playing, and you had all top three heavy in KL, Virat and Rohit Sharma. So I think it's not a dead rubber for India for sure. I think India would be looking at the right combination and it is important for Rohit Sharma to feel comfortable on the field. That is the most important part. If he's taking 11 players with him on the ground, is he comfortable with 5 bowlers combination or a 6th bowling combination? Because that's where the decision making comes into play. So for me, India has to make sure that from now on, I know they've tried everything. They will even further. We've heard from Rohit that they are not stressed out about the combination and stuff, but at the end of the day, it will come back to the combination with which India is playing. Because I'm saying combination again and again, because the players which we are talking about, they all are capable enough. They all have proven performance. They have done really well. So there is no question about any player's capability of playing T20 cricket. It's just about getting those right players on the park. That is going to be very, very important for India going into the World Cup.
This is what Rohit had said. It was interesting, though. There was a lot of chat about Deepak Hooda and why he's playing at, batting at number 7. It's way lower than his position, and you're not going to bowl him. The captain did mention afterwards in the press conference that he says, I took Deepak Hooda instead of Dinesh Karthik. I took him there because I did want the padding of another bowler if the option is. He says, I didn't use it, that's fine, but I wanted to take that. So he's thought it, and it's the captain's prerogative, whether you use it or don't use.
You got to go with him.
That's up. For him, there's safety, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Where's his safety?
Yeah.
That was his safety. So again, but the payoff is you're playing him in just the wrong position. So I think right now the confusion there with the Indian team, I don't think there's any problem with intent or the talent, or there's nothing. I think that's what you're saying. I like that you reiterated that word so many times, because that's the word that is so key. There is no dearth of talent in that Indian team, in the squad. There's an equal squad that is sitting at home and watching it on television. Yeah. There's just enough talented players. It's about that combination. That's what is just seeming like. It just seems a little off when it comes to position or mix or personnel, and then somebody gets injured. Something is happening, right? Which is just it's not clicking together.
Yeah, I mean, it's a combination that you've picked. Yeah. I mean, personnel we'll get to later, but combination is 4 bowlers.
Yeah.
And 5th is somebody who's a all-rounder.
Yeah.
So that's the combination that you've gone with. The other combination is you have role players, and whether you want those players or not, that's another choice that you have to make. But you cannot have a team, I mean, this is the way I see it, I may be totally wrong. You cannot have a team where 50% of people play the way they like playing, or they know how to play, and 50% of the people have to play a certain role.
I like that. Yeah. That's great.
I think that, for me, is the only real problem.
Yeah.
5 bowlers always been my problem. That's a problem in life for me. But that's okay. We all have problems.
Yeah. You want 5. Just to tell you, he doesn't have a problem with the 5 bowlers.
Yeah.
Just to put it correctly, he has a problem with only having 5. You need to have 5 specialist bowlers, and then some.
Yeah.
And
if you have some, if you have some, very good. But this is the minimum basic.
Yeah.
It's like 33% pass ke liye zaruri hai.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. Then the other is, the problem is not mine. Problem is yours. You want a role-playing team.
Yeah.
But then everybody's got to play roles.
Yeah.
And everybody cannot play roles. Yeah. Because, there are players who are limited in the skills. There may be some player who can play at 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. But there are some players who can only open or only bat in top 3. Or there are some bowlers who can't bowl in power play.
Yeah.
And somebody can only bowl in death. So then the whole team has to be of one thought.
Yeah.
That's a team.
When he's saying you, by the way, here, you want, that's not me. He's saying the team management. I'm just clarifying everything. Sensitive मामला है ना, तो इसीलिए. Said you, it's not me. So there you go. So I got it. I think your points are very succinct on that.
Unless you start, as a team, or as a, even as a followers or, fans of some team, what do you follow? You follow a style of play of a team.
That's the clarity of thought that we're speaking about, right? That there's kind of little mixed messaging that.
But that's what you had. I mean, you've just had. I mean, we don't have to go too far. I mean, if I go in the last 2 years, I'll give you 20 incidents. But I mean, just look at this tournament. There are 2 teams who now looking like they're going to get to the final. They've stuck to whatever they came to this tournament with, believing it's a good team.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not saying that this will always work. But then what we've done is we've changed every game depending on the condition, depending on the situation, depending on this, depending on that. So then you got to carry on doing that. And I'm not the one to decide how you should do. But at the moment, this is what is happening. And it starts all the way from the last World Cup, 20 days before the last World Cup, which we'll come to tomorrow.